We've got this guy selling custom indicators. They start at around about $35 and range all the way up to about $200. I believe on his channel here, he's selling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different indicators plus a $100 course. And then, so let's take a little bit of a look at his video, and just to give you an idea of what he is promoting. And basically, if you're going to buy into this, what kind of a scam you're being taken for, because again, like I've always said on all my videos, all indicators for trading are lagging indicators. They do not tell you the future, they tell you the past. And I just want to, I'm going to show you a video that he's recorded about a week ago, and then I'm going to show you on the liquidation heat map exactly where the market went, and how, if you use the liquidation heat map, you can predict much more accurately where the market may go, rather than using these bullshit $200 custom indicators that could, you know, screw you over and basically get you wrecked or bankrupt or completely lose all your money. It's quite laughable to watch this kind of stuff. So let's have a little look at what he's got. So this guy in particular, he loves drawing all over charts here. You can see he's got all these descending channels. He loves talking about formations. He's talking about having a gigantic upside right now, and this is on the 13th of August last week. And it's now the 20th of August, so I'll show you where the market got to based on his prediction. It's quite funny.
Here we have a head here, a shoulder being built, and that is a formation that can lead towards a gigantic upside.
Remember, this guy's selling $250 custom indicators. Okay, buy this at your own risk. All right, look at him. He's drawing things all over the chart. None of this makes any sense. He doesn't explain why he's drawing these things. Why is he drawing these upside candles, these charts? He's only talking about support and resistance. Doesn't really talk about anything else. And he's just basically guessing everything. Nothing is accurate. There is no measurement based on anything of any credibility. He's basically just looking at candles on a chart and guesswork, talking a lot of smack. Look at it, he's drawing upward channels, right? He hasn't looked at a liquidation heat map once. Me, I look at a liquidation heat map.
And determine what that could be, right? So this is the one that's going to take you to that magical $4.19 zone, okay? Very, very impressive times indeed.
Now, I actually made a video several days before he recorded this video, and I took a short. And you can, and I uploaded that video. You can see what happened in that short and how that went for me. Now let's see how it goes for him, because he's talking about upside. Again, hasn't looked at a liquidation heat map. He doesn't know where the liquidity is in the market. He doesn't know what's going on, right? He's just purely guessing. Everything is just guesswork. So he's drawing these boxes and channels everywhere, all over his screen. He doesn't explain why. It's all just a bunch of nonsense. He's talking about rate cuts. Why is he talking about rate cuts? There's no indication whatsoever of rate cuts in the United States at all. He's talking about XRP mooning with rate cuts a week ago. What's he talking about this stuff for? Does he read the news? Again, like I keep telling everybody, you have to check out the news. You have to read the news. If you're not reading the news, if you're not listening to the news, if you're not watching the news, keeping up to date with what's happening in the markets around the world, there's no way you can know what's going to go, what's going to happen with any kind of cryptocurrency or any kind of stock or any kind of investment without knowing what's going on in the world. Now, you're talking about rate cuts. Nobody's talking about rate cuts. There's nothing happening in August. Why is he talking about this for? He's talking about like it's happening tomorrow. And again, I remind you once more, this video that we're watching of his is from a week ago. Now, he's talking about a bull flag. We're in a bull flag. I mean, this is nonsense. What's a bull flag? Like XRP doesn't wake up in the morning and have a sip of coffee and decide, I'm going to make a bull flag. It's nonsense. This is buying and selling based on how the market sentiment is around the world. Are investors buying in, or are they pulling out? Are they securing their profits? Are they taking their stop losses? Are they getting out of the market? Is it looking skeptical? Is it looking dangerous? These are the things you have to look at, not all this nonsense. Why are you drawing lines all over a chart? He's all these algorithms that he's got drawn all over his video here, all over his chart. This is all lagging. It's all in the past. Of course, you can do analysis on the past. It doesn't tell you anything about the future. It just tells you what happened before. Doesn't tell you anything about the future. You don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? Unless you're following the news and you're seeing where the markets are sitting with liquidity. Where is the liquidity in the market? Okay, these are the best guesses you can have, and again, it's guesses. Everything is guesswork. Okay, there is no indicator ever that can tell you where it's going to go. Never buy a $250 indicator under any circumstances. Don't even buy a $35 indicator. Don't even buy a $1 indicator. Okay, don't buy indicators. They're junk. They can't tell you anything. Look at this. He's got all this color-coded RSI nonsense everywhere. So he's talking about 2 days of upside. I'm just going to hold it here, and then I'm going to jump over to the liquidation heat map and see where it went with 2 days of upside from the 13th of August. All right. Now, as you can see on the 13th of August, it went up slightly, and he's not paying attention to the news. Massive news event following day, huge crash, right? Okay. And then where does the market keep going? Crashing again. Now, if you're keeping up to date with the news and you're keeping up to date with liquidation, you have a much better idea for free. Okay, you're not paying for any kind of ridiculous kind of junk indicator, and you can see where the market will likely head. Now, if you were like me and you're in on a short, because I saw that this was a potential area for a major rejection. There was nothing in the news. There was nothing telling me that any kind of cryptocurrencies of any kind, whether it's XRP, Ethereum, or Bitcoin, Doge, anything was going up. Everything was looking bad, okay? We're getting close to the Putin meeting with Trump and the Zelensky meeting, and also, overall market sentiment is looking bad, right? The job rates came in and they were false, and then the news was announced and everything fell, all right? So, of course, it came for the liquidity here. That's why it didn't take this liquidity up. The market makers, the whales, the exchanges, the major investors in the business, they don't want to go up yet. They don't want to take this liquidity out, right? Okay, they're going to short, okay, and they did exactly the right thing. The financial markets are looking bad, so they shorted, or they pulled their investments out, or they took their profits, or they took their losses, all right, and so everything collapsed. Now, if you bought a $250 indicator from this YouTuber, where do you think you're screwed, right? He's talking about 2 days of upside. He thinks you're going through this liquidity. He never looked at liquidity. He didn't show us liquidity in his video. He is under the assumption that by drawing boxes all over his screen and by drawing pencil lines everywhere and bullshit sticks rising upwards, that the market's going up. He didn't come here and look at this liquidity. If he came to the liquidity map, he would see that there's liquidity above. If he went and studied the news, he'd see that the market's going to collapse, all right? Because nothing's looking positive, all right? And still to this day, 7 days later, nothing is looking positive, all right? And you can see that if he was zoomed in that day on a 12-hour chart or a 12-hour time frame or a 1 day time frame, that everything was more likely, not guaranteed, but more likely to head down, because there's no way that the big investors and the exchanges were going to pour more money into the market only to have it be rug pulled from underneath them, right? These guys are not stupid. If you're playing with millions of dollars and billions of dollars, you pretty much know what you're doing, all right? You got a pretty good clue of what's going on, and guaranteed, those guys, the big players in the business, they're using this tool, the liquidity heat map, okay? They're not paying for indicators. They're not looking at the past. They are absolutely looking at the present and the future. And they are keeping up to speed with the news, and they're keeping up to speed with liquidation, all right? So they are the people, the businesses, the organizations that created this, okay? They created this downside, all right? Now, if you were unlucky enough and unfortunate enough to be scammed and buying some custom indicator and you took along, I would guess that you're wrecked right now, right? And you're probably hurting, all right? Now, if you're one of those people and you're watching this video, I want you to understand that nothing, and I repeat this, nothing, even what I'm saying about liquidation heat maps and the news, nothing can guarantee you what's going to happen in the future. You can only have your best guess. That's why I only use the liquidation heat map and the news. Okay, that's it. And I'm not promoting anything else. I don't design anything. I don't customize anything. I'm not selling you something to install on your TradingView, something to put on your exchange. Nothing ever will I ever sell you would cost $250. I mean, that's just madness. For something that tells you about the past. It never tells you anything about the future. If you're buying something that you believe will tell you about the future, you're being scammed, right? It's straight up scam, all right? maybe some of these YouTubers that are selling this kind of stuff don't have bad intentions. Maybe they're so consumed by their ideas, and maybe they are making money because maybe they got into the whole crypto business years and years and years ago when a lot of these cryptocurrencies were at really cheap buying prices, right? Before any kind of major bull markets, and their investments are up. So they're believing what they're selling you, right? They're seeing, okay, I bought XRP at 50 cents, now it's $3. So they're seeing that their money has gone up. But I guarantee you that none of those indicators that he is using or selling to you actually provided that success to him, all right? Okay, maybe he got lucky. Maybe, he got in right before the last bull run and everything just went up and it was just pure luck, all right? But now when things go down, these indicators don't work, all right? I've been looking at this guy for a couple of months and just like kind of shaking my head and just so like disheartened to see this kind of stuff being sold to people who either don't know or are desperate. Particularly like retail investors, people like us, right? Like I'm a retail investor, right? I don't work for any financial institution. I don't offer any kind of financial services to anybody. I don't make major investments, all right? All I do is work with the liquidation heat map to make my scalps, and sometimes a long-term trade if I believe that something's going to go up for a while or something's going to come down for a while. Okay, and that's all based on those two things that I keep repeating. It's the news and it's the liquidity. Where is the liquidity in the market? All right, so that's it from me today, guys. Please be careful out there. Don't get scammed by anything. Don't buy anything that appears to be too good to be true. All right, the safest way to have success in this market is to be patient. Don't get desperate. Don't buy anybody's magic fairy dust or snake oil, used cars. Just pay attention to what's going on in the market. Watch the news, even if you have to subscribe to some news organizations that you don't necessarily want to subscribe to. It is necessary if you want to be successful here. The liquidation heat map is completely free. Never pay for an indicator, and don't buy someone's online 8-week course or 10-week course on how to read indicators, all right? You're just gonna confuse yourself, all right? Don't forget, if you like this content, please send me $5 on USDT right here on the Sol Network with my wallet address, and I will send you my 40-minute video on how I trade and scalp using the liquidation heat map. And remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers, bye.